Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I grabbed the other fleet here in the English Channel and set them to interception. Hoping we can take out some of these enemy fleets just as fast as we can. We were able to successfully drive one of them away back to Spain. So we'll see if we can knock out this other one. And then we can get this invasion underway. Oh, okay, so it's not stalled anymore now. So hopefully we'll see a battle popping off soon. Oh no, okay, alright. So this battle's happening, but we're dealing with them. Perfect. Tertiary Revolt is good to go. Our enemies do not have... They do still have war support protection, and they will do as long as we are not engaged here and have not arrived in the Netherlands. So we do actually need to get there as soon as we can. We got a lot of battles going on here, but we are actually pushing forward into Eastern Andalusia, so I'm pretty pleased about that. I'm going to grab this, our primary fleet, and move it to the Macaronesian Sea, where the enemy has a bunch of fleets faffing about. Alright. So this might be another fleet battle, we'll see. Alright, and there's another battle. We got 2 battles happening. We are winning against Spanish fleets. We do not have war support protection, though, so we do have to get going fairly efficiently over here. We do need to start bashing these Spanish fleets aside. Alright, perfect. So, and then this tiny Dutch fleet should not be a problem to deal with. Luxembourg is in default. That's okay. Alright, 2 battles going. They've lost most of their manpower at this point, so that should push them off very nearly. Alright, perfect. Alright, so now we have a landing battle, and we are winning. Excellent. They've got solid defense here, but we are successfully pushing forward. And we have an army on their way back. This army can go... Oh, that is... They are going there. Alright, so that'll be fine. Yes, and the Army of the West Indies is on its way. Yeah, I'm actually going to allow them to come back to England so that I can redeploy them to the Netherlands once we've got a landing zone here. And here's another battle. We are continuing to press forward. 70% landing progress. Perfect. I'm going to put the Army of Australia on here. And there's landing craft unlocked. Beautiful. Also, division is on the way, and I'm also going to deploy the Army of the West Indies here. Hopefully we can get this front closed out before the Netherlands gets any allies here. I think we've got a hold of their capital state right now, though, so I think that... Yes, okay, so that has removed their war support protection. Let's go ahead and put one of these fleets on this sea node here. I need to add another guy, so let's add this guy. Aggressive interception. We'll go ahead and set him to raid. And this fleet's good to go. Although we are pressing forward here. So, ending the slave trade. Charles George Gordon, leader of the armed forces and a well-known opponent of the global slave trade, argues that our colonial ambitions in British Botswana should be leveraged towards ending the practice on the continent. We actually got this event already, but I'm going to go ahead and read it again. Ending slavery within our own borders is a meager victory in the grand perspective of human history. As long as there are countries in the world willing to sell slaves, there will be countries coming to buy them. And vice versa. The concept must be stamped out wherever it can be found so that Eventually, it can be stamped out in the human soul as well. I am going to say we have a duty to end slavery wherever our power reaches. This gives us a massive colonial growth generation bonus, and that's great for us. So I'm going to hit that button. Force comparisons have gotten less good here, but better in Spain, and I'm hoping that convoy raiding in these sea zones will get us some ability to goof up enemy supply of these Russian and Spanish armies here, because I think some of the armies here are Spanish and Russian. We also do have another one of our armies on the way. Oh no, they're already there. Perfect. Alright, Communist Canada is sorted. So we'll grab another army, the Army of Canada, and put them on the front in the Netherlands as well. We're not exactly winning these battles, but we have got a hold of the Dutch capital at this time. Oh, and they're actually willing to end the war right now. So, let's go ahead and propose the peace deal. We only just got there, because Russia was against for a while. Alright. Perfect. So, we finally got a hold of the Dutch mainland, and we finally got a hold of all of Guyana. So first things first, let's build the rest of the rubber plantations there that we were planning on building so that we can finally get the Exploiting the Amazons event popped. Oil and Gabon, encourage, oil is the future. So now, do we have enough bureaucratic capacity to incorporate all these territories immediately? Answer, yes, we do. So they'll be incorporated in 5 years, and then they'll start providing us some tasty, tasty tax base. Okay, Luxembourg is completely goofed, but there's nothing we can do about that without having Belgium in our customs union. Not willing to do that right now. It would be too much infamy to turn them into a protectorate. I'm pretty pleased with how that worked out. Alright, and there's an uprising, but crucially, we did not... it was after our other armies demobilized, so I'm just going to quickly go ahead and mobilize the Army of Australia and have them deal with Barotse. As you can see, we've nearly gotten Africa completely colonized, which is very good for us. The only other areas are down here, and those zones are not able to be colonized by us at the moment, due to our having very low... sorry, not due to having low anything, due to those areas being already claimed by, I think, Argentina and maybe Chile, but I'm not sure. Spain is taking on French Senegal's debt. So, we've got 10.5 infamy, which is pretty good overall. We're quite reputable. We're still not at peace, so we can't get another diplomatic play started. So, I'm just going to go ahead and increase the speed here. So on our to-do list, we want to reduce the autonomy of Sokoto and Transvaal so that we can get them, we can work towards them. We got another pipeline event. I'm going to fund it. It's going to get us extra infrastructure, and it's going to make our industrialists happy, which we do want to do because they're enormously powerful. We've got a righteous government, and as you can see, that is paying enormous dividends in the form of high loyalists. We got a bunch of radicals just now, and the reason we got all those radicals is because we conquered all this territory. Once we got a hold of these zones, and actually, time to reset their production methods. Once we got these zones incorporated, that radicalism is going to go way, way down, because currently the turmoil is causing huge, huge problems in these areas. So how are we on infrastructure? We're good here, we're good here, and we're good here. I think our urban centers, okay, are still using coal. So first things first, and this is going to take forever. Let's check out urbanization and try electrifying these areas. Wow, only 3 levels of urban centers in Friesland. That's It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. 8 levels here in Gelre and 14 levels in Holland. So, I think we're still going to put 2 levels of power plants in each of these zones because we're going to want plenty of power for all the things we want to do here. We're also going to want to throw universities in these areas to the extent that they don't have them already. In addition to getting us a little bit of extra overflow innovation, it's just good to be able to add qualifications to those areas. And this is going to take just forever on account of the size of... Oh boy. The machine gun takes the concept of the hand-cranked machine gun and cranks it up a notch, replacing the human rotation with an automated system to allow for more bullets to be fired even faster. Alright. We got a dangerous equipment event, and then I'm going to set up machine guns. The textile mills in Connaught have seen an increase in workplace accidents due to increased mechanization and poor safety regulations. Accidents have always happened, but I feel like I used to have time to react. Not this time. I grabbed his arm to pull him out of the way, but I barely gotten a hold of his wrist before the arm was all I held on to. Slow down production while the staff adjusts the new machinery. Or, we cannot pull the brakes on the engines of progress. I'm going to say we can't pull the brakes on the... Oh, that's going to cause a lot of mortality, though. Textile mills in Connaught. How many levels of textile mills are there here? Not many. Let's slow down production. This is going to upset the industrialists and the intelligentsia, who are headed up by a market liberal, but it's going to be better overall. All right. So I was talking about an economic development plan for the Netherlands. It looks like these zones are suffering from pretty rough labor shortages? No, they're not. Interesting. Curious. Extremely curious. How is taxation capacity? Taxation capacity is just fine. There's what Barotza, not too worried about that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with these areas. Alright, we've got those rubber plantations built, so let's go ahead with the exploit Amazonian state decision. Like pearls on a string, cities and rubber entrepôts now line Guyana's rail and riverine networks, bringing the blazing torch of civilization to the jungle in exchange for its rich bounties. You've remembered your pen this time? Yes, take everything down. The Amazon, as I have predicted, has yielded, like darkest Africa before it, no thing of bark or magma. Oh man, sorry, I did a completely bad cold line read on that. Let me try that one again. You've remembered your pen this time? Yes, take everything down. The Amazon, as I predicted, has yielded, like darkest Africa before it. No thing of bark or magma born will halt the wheels of progress. In this mighty... My God, man, did you note me asking about your pen? No, don't take that down, stop! We're the harbingers of order. This adds mortality, radicals from discrimination, reduced state construction efficiency, but a big bonus to migration attraction and an increase of standard of living for the upper strata, increased to minimum expected standard of living for the upper strata, and reduced mortality, or and the heralds of progress. So we can pick between one standard of living for the upper strata, one expected standard of living for the upper strata, and minus 10% mortality, or one standard of living for the middle strata, one minimum standard of living for the middle strata, and 10% plantations throughput. I'm going to say the first one because I like that reduced mortality. I don't think the plantations throughput is all that useful. And, yeah. So now, all rubber-producing Amazonian states have their state trait upgraded to exploited Amazon rainforest, which we do. And that's complete. Alright, brilliant. Something going on with Great Chain? No? Okay. All right. So that's been an eventful episode. I'm still kind of... Let's check out how this war is going. So this war has stalled. Germany wants to white peace. France does not. Germany is partially occupied here. How are they doing? They've spent a lot of time shooting at each other. We've got over 1 million dead and wounded on each side. Total, I think we got about 2.5 million dead and wounded. And costs of war in excess of 10 million pounds. So, you know, average war at the end of the 19th century. We did finish out our war in Barotsa without a problem. We should be able to switch at least some textile mills to doing elastics. Let's grab the ones in... Wait, I'm still going to do this from the buildings interface. Hold on. We're going to do some stuff with production methods, but first, arming the natives. We discovered that our rivals in Russia have been arming the Luban natives in Congo Oriental. The Luban natives have never welcomed our presence, but without the means to mount a truly effective resistance, we've paid little heed to their objections. The addition of Russian munitions to the equation comes with the frightening possibility that we must face them on equal terms. We should de-escalate the situation, reduces colonial growth. Or, if they want to fight, they'll get one. This deteriorates relations with Russia. De-escalating reduces tensions. Escalating increases tensions. I'm going to escalate. Oh, right, and I was going to enable machine guns. So, this is in mobilization options. Support equipment. We're going to go ahead and check the machine gun support equipment for all armies. And this is going to make our armies absolutely absurdly powerful by comparison to basically any of the armies they're going to face. It's going to give them 5 offense and 10 defense. It's not going to be, I said absurdly powerful, it's not going to be a complete game breaker, but it is going to be a significant increase in overall military capability. And the cost is to match. 11th British Army doesn't need to exist. Put into the Army of the Cape of Good Hope. Oh man, those are some terrible troops. Alright. Army of the Cape of Good Hope, we're going to upgrade these line and skirmish infantry. Get them finished upgrading. And in fact, the Army of the Cape of Good Hope can have a few more... Can have about double, actually triple the amount of siege artillery that it currently has. We'll just go ahead and pull in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's bring the total number of artillery battalions up to 10, and that should be just fine. These are taking forever to build. I'm just going to queue the barracks and whatnot up first. That's not really going to interfere with that much because barracks are very, very fast to construct. Ecuadorian liberal revolt over here in Peru, Bolivia. Peru, Bolivia is a pretty stonky country right here. They're 17th. We have a gold rush, an oil rush, and a rubber rush. Mine, it's all mine. Encourage the trend, oil is the future. And this place seems to be the most effective. Have a cacophony of sound effects. Viewers always like a cacophony of sound effects, right? Alright, we can build a few more oil rigs here, but I don't necessarily need to. Guyana pipeline, contribute to the funding. Pipelines are extremely affordable ways of getting work done. Alright, so now we have the capability of getting up to some aggressive nonsense. We're finally not in a war again. Our infamy is 7.5. We could reduce the autonomy of Sokoto, which would be 6 infamy. Let's do it. And do they accept? They accept. Brilliant. I'm very pleased with this. Now, what about the British East Indies? They are currently our dominion. Actually, no. I don't want to do that. I want to get conquering territories. We've got That's the Portuguese Sunda Isles. We've got Bhutan over here still existing. Let's go ahead and grab Sintang. I've been talking about grabbing Sintang for a while now. Does Sintang have anything resembling an actual army? Not really. So we'll put the Army of Australia on there. The Army of Australia's got machine guns. We'll put the Army of Canada in the back as well. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to increase the number of battalions in the Army of Australia. And it's going to get some artillery as well. It's going to make that army much more effective. And I'm going to slide all these up to the top once again to get them built fast. It's probably not going to affect this war specifically, but it will affect wars eventually. Is the Army of Canada going all the way around? Is that really the fastest way to do this? Oh, because there's no Panama Canal yet. Duh. I'm like, well, they probably still could have traveled overland, but I don't know. Seems a little silly. But that's just me. They do have an army over here. Where's the Army of Australia? Alright, they're on the way. Alright, perfect. Infamy's up to a nice respectable 17.9. And Sokoto has become a dominion, meaning that will be generating some revenue for us. We're getting a huge pile of cash from diplomatic pacts. In particular, from the German Empire, we're getting 205k per week. Due to the bankroll that we got from them. Unfortunately, a German Empire has formed. And that will be a significant counterweight to our power in Europe, potentially. I didn't think they were going to get all of that stuff, but apparently they did. I should not have helped in that war against Austria-Hungary, but I didn't want Austria-Hungary to turn into a German Empire. They are an autocratic Kaiser... Well, not autocratic. They're an oligarchy. They're an oligarchic monarchy with national supremacy, freedom of conscience, and a professional army. In terms of economy, they're a mercantilist interventionists with per capita taxation, homesteading, local police forces, which is interesting. They've got public schools, no health system, censorship, regulatory bodies, child labor allowed, propertied women, poor laws, migration controls, and no slavery. We still don't have compulsory primary school yet, which I wish we could get, but at this stage we cannot. Knowledge of electrical capacitors is spreading to us. We're also actively researching that. So I think once electric railways is finished, we're going to grab... Pneumatic tools might be useful. Extra construction industry throughput. I was going to look at our production methods, but I forgot again. What do we have in society? We don't yet have film or political agitation. Both of those could be useful. Central planning would be really nice to have extra bureaucracy from. We do have corporate governments, which will give us another company. Let's go ahead with... Some of these military techs would be extremely effective for us. But I think I want steam turbine and the pneumatic tools. We'll go back to military after that. I'm feeling very confident in our military capabilities overall. We are still continuing to build up these power stations and universities in Friesland and Gelre. I was going to look at our production methods as well, and I didn't do that. So let's quickly take a look at them. For textile mills, we can definitely use some rubber in these buildings in the industrial core. What's the market looking like? We are exporting a certain amount of luxury clothes, are we not? Yeah, quite a bit. In fact, we can be exporting more. We've got the bureaucracy. Let's go ahead and do it. That's the one with Sintang breaking out. I'm not super interested in that. And there's the automatic machine gun. The Devil's Paintbrush. General Weetman Connolly's use of dedicated machine gun teams in the Great Britain versus Sintong War has yielded advantageous results on the battlefield, leaving full platoons of enemies dead before they've even reached our lines. If anyone had told me that it would be possible to make a gun that would 1. Pull a cartridge belt into position. 2. Pull a loaded cartridge out of it. 3. Move it in front of the barrel. 4. Thrust it into the barrel. 5. Close the breech in a proper manner. 6. Cock the hammer. 7. Pull the trigger. 8. Fire off the cartridge. 9. Extract the empty shell. And 10. Throw it out of the mechanism. And 11. Feed a new cartridge into position. And to do all of these things in 1/10 of a second, I would not have believed it. But now I've seen it done with my own eyes. Options are Weetman Connolly's Master of the Tools Unparalleled. This gives him Stalwart Defender. Or a little bonus with a famous quote about machine guns that goes, "Whatever happens, we have got the Maxim gun and they have not." This just gives him extra defense for 2 years. I'm going to give him the Stalwart Defender trait. That'll last longer. Then we have Mission to Africa event. A group of Christian missionaries want to bring the salvation of the Gospels to our colony in Ba-Congo. I do not believe that everyone is entitled to salvation because we must be free to reject it, but I do believe everyone is entitled to the choice. We must not, cannot, sit idle in Great Britain while there are yet unenlightened heathens in this world. If the colonial project truly is a moral one, as you claim, then surely all moral instruction must begin with this choice. As before, I'm going to say we are there for the glory of Great Britain, not the glory of God. Because I don't want to make the Anglican Church any stronger than they already are. We're going to go back to working on those production methods. The ones in home counties are having trouble hiring. They've got the cash, but there's not a lot of people. There's a little too many people here. We don't have electrical capacitors yet, so we can't continue to automate. Let's grab a few more and switch those over to elastics as well. Okay, so that has made this place less than profitable. Unable to hire, but not unprofitable, right? Okay, no, okay, so all right, so they're okay. They are hiring again. So they fired a bunch, and now they're hiring again. Is this wise? Do I want this? Are clothes actually more profitable than luxury clothes to be producing? That doesn't seem right. Are we not exporting enough clothes? Let's start exporting clothes. We'll send them everywhere. But it's really, again, it's luxury clothes that should be the big exports. We can send some of those to Denmark, some to Persia, some to Guatemala. There should be huge markets for these. Because that's part of why these industries aren't able to be profitable with the elastics tech, with the elastics production method, because they don't have, there's not enough markets. So for furniture manufacturers, it's the same way. We have switched them over to precision tools, but there's not a market for more luxury clothes, which I feel like there should be. Hey, media player. There we go. Still need to increase the size of the electrics industries. Maybe there'll be a time and place for that. So luxury furniture is kind of the same way. There's just not that much market for it, which is a surprise. Now, we do need more electrics industry. Oh, right. So, because we've got a lot of we've got a lot of demand for telephones without much use for telephones. Radios where in the opposite situation. We've got a lot of demand, but very little consumption. We're over on supply and radios, which is rare. These are almost done, right? Are they not? Yes. One more week. Alright, so I'm going to go over here and switch these to my core production methods. Again, we'll get these using electrical power. That's going to make them unprofitable for a little while and more profitable later. And we do actually have access to a public motor carriages method, but that uses automobiles, and I don't think we'll have that until we've got access to the... Perfect. Oh, we have combustion engine. I can build cars. Which means I can get motorized recon, which is also a huge military advantage. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've got about, I don't have to say about, I've got 444 regular battalions. And from a recon perspective, I need cars, but that's 1 car per battalion. So, as long as I'm... Gotta normalize production methods. Hold up. I can build the Great Mosque of Dijon. But it is going to increase the political strength of my devout, which I don't necessarily want. Eh, what the heck, it'll be fine. I'm going to build a wonder. Heck yes. What was I talking about? Cars. I was talking about cars. So we're going to turn some of these motor industries. We're going to need to produce about 450 cars with these motor industries. If I do the home counties and Lancashire, that will produce everything we need. So let's do it. Unable to fully hire, that's okay. And then we'll put all of these armies on... Well, we'll wait until... Alright. On motor recon. And I think I've got some armies that need to be upgraded as well. So now we've got motor armies, and that's going to be extremely effective overall. Increased formation speed and surprise maneuver chance. Wonderful. Let's see. So we got some... Just checking to look at the artillery methods and all of these. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, okay. Oh. This is good. I don't know why those don't hire. I think that's a hiring issue. Alright, so let's just unpause this here. Let's take a look at our markets. Of course, that's going to increase engines demand. How is the automobile market? It's good. Oh my goodness. Everyone wants a car. So much demand for cars. Alright, hold up. We can definitely make more cars, though. Now that we want them. Yeah, let's do it. Heck. We might even be able to automate some of these factories now. Yeah, do it. So that's wild. So that's going to make those motor industries wildly productive. Get the electricity industries positively traded. Opium addiction. Han people are experiencing severe effects of opium addiction. The use and abuse of the substance has spread throughout Guangzhou. The opium meter lies under the weight of incubus and nightmare. He lies in sight of all that he would fain perform, just as a man forcibly confined to his bed by the mortal languor of a relaxing disease, who is compelled to witness injury or outrage offered to some object of his tenderest love. He curses the spells which chain him down from motion. He would lay down his life if he might but get up and walk, but he is as powerless as an infant and cannot even attempt to rise. Perhaps we can treat this as a medical matter. -1 standard of living for Han people. We lost some trade routes to... I don't know what country that is. Oh, this... Johor. That's in Indonesia. It's a communist uprising. Interesting. As you can see, that has quite significantly impacted our... Ionian proletarian revolt against us. Alright. We'll mobilize the army of Australia and station them in the Mediterranean. Can we put them on the front? No path. Alright, well, we'll naval invade there. It's fine. Alright, we have done a lot of work this episode. Just going to let us go a little bit longer. And then we're going to put a pin in it because we've gone every which way over here. I think we're still at 14.2. We have basically completed the colonization of Africa at this point. In fact, I don't think there's even anywhere else to establish a colony. The scramble for Africa has basically been won by us. Another Hell on Earth event. And that means pretty soon... Oh, actually, no, because... Okay, settle down. So, we actually need to conquer... Hey, corporate governance. Excellent. We actually need to conquer more of Africa in order for this event to finish. In particular, because this is 95% of state regions in Africa must be completely owned by any country with a capital outside of Africa, a subject of any country with a capital outside of Africa, or a recognized power in Africa. So Egypt is recognized. Egypt is not recognized. Tripolitania is not recognized, and Tunis is not recognized. And all of these countries are unrecognized. So it might be time to puppet Egypt. Just for funsies, how much infamy would it be to make Egypt a protectorate? 69.5. That's really a lot. So that's going to be a whole process. And unfortunately, we can't rely on the Ottoman Empire to eat into Egypt because they haven't been able to do so successfully so far. In any case, though, all of that is going to have to wait until subsequent episodes. We are just about 25% into incorporating the Netherlands, and things are going to get a lot better there. Let's see how turmoil is. We're at 50% here, 50% here, and 50% here. So the number of radicals hasn't gone down that much, but the amount of law enforcement keeping them from being a problem has gone way, way up. So that's how that's going. In any case, that is all we've got for today. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.